Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Dr. Fakir's Academy. My name is Engineer Rahman Ali Khan. Let's start the part B of lecture number 11. So in part A, we discussed the floor and its components, the floor system, the floor support system, and this we just only discussed the ground floor. So in part B, we will discuss the upper or suspended floor in detail. So let's start suspended floor. So all the floors constructed above the level of ground floor except the terrace or roof of a building are called suspended or upper floors. So any floor in a building that is above ground level like the first floor, second floor and so on, but not the roof or terrace, these floors are called suspended because they do not rest directly on the ground. Instead, they are supported by a structure system such as beams and columns, load-bearing walls, steels or concrete frames, slabs, opening between supports. So the design and material used to support a suspended floor depend upon the overall structure system. For example, in a reinforcement concrete building, suspended floor are usually made of RC slabs resting on beams. And steel structure floor may be supported by steel joists or girders. So the support system for the suspended floor depends upon the type of structure system used for the construction of building. Types of suspended floor. So there are different types of suspended floors are reinforcement concrete floor, reinforced brick floor, wooden floor, precast concrete floor, jack or floor. We will discuss these types in detail in the next slides. Reinforced concrete floor. So the support system for RC floors consists of reinforced concrete slab, which may be a slab supported on wall. So the RC slab in this case is directly rest on the load-bearing wall. So it is common in traditional residential building with no beams or columns. So load from slab is transferred to the walls, then to the foundation. RC slab with steel girders. So in this, the slab is placed over steel girders instead of concrete beams. So this system combines steel and concrete, often used in industrial buildings. So steel girder carry loads and transfer it to columns. And the third one is RC slab beam system. So in this, the slab is supported by concrete beams and the beam rests on columns. So very common in multi-story buildings and load path, slab, beams, columns, foundation. Mean the load is transferred from slab to beams, then column, then foundation. Flat slab. So in this, the slab is directly rest on the column without beams. You can see in this figure, provide flexibility in room layout and reduce floor height. And it is common in commercial and office buildings. And last one is a ribbed slab. So in this, the slab is directly or has closely spaced ribs or small beams underneath. Reduce weight while maintaining strength. Ideal for long spans and architectural aesthetics. So RC floor is very common in Pakistan as most of the structure are either reinforced concrete frames or masonry wall with RC slab. So RC floors are very strong, durable, having better resistance. And RC floors are also economical as they involve less maintenance costs. So the second type of the suspended floor is the reinforced brick concrete floor. So an RBC floor is a type of slab that combines brick, concrete, and reinforcing steel. So this system is commonly used in low-rise building due to its cost effectiveness. So bricks are placed between the reinforced bar. You can see in the figure. They help to reduce the overall weight of the slab since brick are lighter than solid concrete. So this also reduces the amount of concrete needed, making the system more economical. So steel bars, typically 1 or 2 inch dia, are laid out in both direction, longitudinal and transverse. The spacing between the bar is usually 12 inches center to center, and the reinforcement is placed over a formwork. Then bricks are arranged in the gaps. Finally, a layer of concrete is poured over the brick and reinforced. So after pouring the concrete, we have to provide the top cover with a rich cement sand mortar. So and this the main issue with this type of floor is the appearance of damp efflorescent spots at the surface of the floor. So this method provides moderate strength and is best suited for residential buildings where the load is not very high. And it's a practical solution in area where cost saving and material efficiency are important. Timber or wood floor. So a timber floor is a type of floor system where both the structure support and the top surface of flooring are made of wood. So it is commonly used in area where wood is easily and cheaply available. So the entire system, including joists, planks, and flooring boards, is constructed from timber. So timber floors are a lightweight and easy to install, especially in small buildings or houses. So, but the timber and wood floor have some limitation. We cannot use in that. So very poor. It have very poor fire resistance property because would burn easily, making it unsafe in case of fire, and it is not suitable for heavy load or large spans unless special treatment or reinforcement are added. And it can be affected by termites, moisture, and decay if not properly maintained. So the support system of a wooden floor may be single joist, double joist, or triple joist. So single joist, in this the wooden floor having its topping support by only common joist or bridging joist is called a single joist. So these are the bridging joists. So these joists are spaced 30 to 40 centimeter and are directly supported on the walls. You can see in this figure. These are the struts. So it's suitable for small spans. And the double joist, the wooden floor having its topping supported by bridging joist along with one or more binders is known as double joist wooden floor or simply double floor. You can see in this figure, this is the bridging joist and this is the wooden binder. So in this case, the floor is supported by the bridging joist and one or more binders. So we can call this to double joist. So joists are caged to the binder to reduce depth of the floor, and binder are spaced at about 2.5 meters. So and triple joist, the wooden floor having its topping supported by bridging joist, binders, and a girder is known as triple joist. So in this case, the floor is supported by boarding joist, binders, and steel girder. You can see in this figure. So girder are sometimes made with structured steel. Precast concrete floor. So in a precast concrete floor, the structure component like joist, I-shape, beams, and floor panel are manufactured off-site and then assembled on-site in a precast panel. So precast joists are I-shape are placed at a regular interval of 3 foot or 900 millimeter center to on center, which are supported on masonry wall. So the precast concrete panels are laid uh, over these joists to form the floor surface. So these joists are supported on masonry walls, transferring the load down to the foundation. So if the span is larger or greater than 10 feet, about 3 meter, the joists are placed on precast concrete girder. These girder act as intermediate supports and help handle greater loads and longer span. So this system is fast to construct, uniform in quality and efficient, especially for projects needing speeds and repetitive floor design. Jack arch floor. So a jack arch floor is type of floor system where the floor topping is supported on jack arches, which are shallow arches constructed between the steel joists. So steel joists are placed parallel. You can see in this figure, this is the steel joist, and jack arch spans the gap between the bottom flanges of these joists. So the topping is laid above the surface arches to complete the floor. So the jack arch floor may be a brick jack arch floor or concrete jack arch floor. So in brick jack arch floor, the arch is made of brick masonry. You can see in this figure, this is the brick called a steel joist and brick jack arch floor. So traditionally apple used in older buildings. In concrete arch floor, the arches are made of reinforcement concrete, and it is known as a steel joist and concrete jack arch floor. So stronger and more durable than brick arches. Jack arch floor usually consist of steel I-beams and flat brick arches, and between steel beams, mean are spaced at 3 to 4 feet. Tie a rod between steel beams are used sometimes to stabilize the systems, and the gravity load are carried by the brick arches, and the brick arches transfer these loads mainly through compression to the steel beams. The steel beams are carry the load and flexure or bending and shear, trans transferring it to the load bearing walls. So this system is very strong and stable under static dead load. However, it is not good at resisting the dynamic loads such as those caused by the earthquakes due to high mass and brittle behavior of brick arches and lack of ductility, mean of flexibility and connections. So jack arch floors are often seen in old colonial buildings, railway stations, and industrial structure in Pakistan and India.